Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or much good depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of November 2024. I bring on this update. Nigeria expired 10 years ago. Go your separate ways. Ango Ablahi urges all the ethnic nationalities in the country. Oh yes, that's what is happening now. That the convener of the Northern Elders Forum and the former vice-chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Ango Ablahi, yesterday being the 12th day of November 2024, declared that Nigeria has expired. Oh yes, Ablahi, who said this at the National Dialogue on a Homegrown Parliamentary System of Government held in Abuja, disclosed that the edict which led to the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorates by the British colonial authorities in 1914 was meant to expire after 100 years. Yes, he explained that when the British brought together the diverse ethno-lingual groups, they met on ground and named the territory Nigeria. It was on the projection that the people would develop into a model nation state. According to him, the edict setting up the country gave a time frame within which the country will grow into an indissoluble state or fail and the groups go their separate ways. That is what Professor Ango Ablahi is saying. Okay? Now, he lamented that since 4 years after Nigeria's independence, the country can only boast of 3,000 megawatts of electricity for a population of over 200 million people. He said that the current situation in the power sector is enough evidence that Nigeria had failed to live up to the expectation, and therefore the ethnic nationalities have to go their separate ways. That is what the professor is saying. In his words quote, Nigeria was born in 1914. It was the product of an edict made by the colonial officers that were largely military in consultation with a few of our elders, just 5 or 6 of them. These included the Sultan of Sokoto of that period, the Shehu of Borno of that period, the Alafin of Oyo of that period, the Obong of Calabar of that time, and the other names that I have forgotten. Just 5 of them. They sat down and looked at the developments that were taking place in the colonized area, Lagos, that's southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. The north was conquered in 1903. So, by 1914, the colonial masters from Britain wanted to solidify their gains so that they could more easily exploit the resources of the colony. That is how they sat down and decided that they would amalgamate the Lagos colony and the south and the north into one country. The wife of Lord Frederick Lugard, the Governor General at that time, gave us the name Nigeria, a name derived from the Niger area. In the edict, if you read it, it is very clear that we were being encouraged as people from various backgrounds to come together and build a nation called Nigeria. Our leaders at that time were encouraged to try, but we were advised by the edict that we should have monitored the progress over the years, but the life of the edict was to last for 100 years. This means that the edict expired in 2014, which is 100 years from its formation. But the question now is that this is 2024, and perhaps this kind of dialogue reminds us that we have a history that started in 1914. In conclusion of that edict, it said that if we fail to build a country that we can call our own and be proud of, by the expiration of that period, the various components that were in that amalgamation could go their separate ways. Go and check. That is what you will find. The edict tells us that either do what is right, or if we can't do what is right, we can decide to go our separate ways. End of quote. Yes, you have seen his statement. Yes, that's Ango Abdullahi, the convener of this Northern Elders Forum. Yes, this is the same thing Nnamdi Kanu was talking about in his podcast, that Buhari arrested him. Yes, this is the only thing he committed that earned him this solitary confinement. Yes, and now a renowned Northern elder is saying the same thing. So we're asking Tinubu now whether he will arrest Ango Abdullahi, because he inherited the abracadabra, the executive recklessness, the penchant of the executive to disobey court rules, particularly as regards to Nnamdi Kanu. And now he continued in that executive recklessness, yes, of detaining Nnamdi Kanu. And this is why Buhari arrested him in the first place, by making this kind of statement. You have seen the elder, yes, the convener of Northern Elders Forum, Ango Abdullahi, making similar statements, or even same statements, exactly. Said, go your separate ways. All the ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, said the country has failed woefully. Said the edict states clearly that if they fail to form a nation state, if they fail to create a country that they will be proud of, say they will go their separate ways. Yes, say the component in this, the ethnic nationalities could go their separate ways. And he said it here, emphatically, that the country has failed. Oh yes, he used the power sector, yes, as an example, to indicate that the country has failed. Yes, producing only 3,000 megawatts of electricity for over 200 million people. He said it's a typical example of failure. When you go to countries like South Africa, okay, this 3,000 is just for, it's not something that you can give for a region in South Africa. A region in South Africa, 3,000 megawatts. A region in South Africa has more than 6,000 megawatts. Only a region. Yes, a province, if you like, has more than 6,000. Now you are talking about a country of 200 million persons, more than that of South Africa. Yes, and they have only 3,000 megawatts. So what are we not talking about? So Ango said, it has expired, completely expiration. Yes, and the country failed woefully to show that they have the capacity to continue as a country. Yes, so that is what we are saying now. Is Tinubu's decision now. The ball is in his court to release Nnamdi Kanu or arrest Ango Abdullahi. Simple. Release Nnamdi Kanu now, or you go after Ango Abdullahi. The age is not the issue. Yes, if you say Nnamdi Kanu committed a treasonable felony for making statements like this, okay, Ango Abdullahi have made the same statement, so go and arrest him. He has committed a treasonable felony, because the same statement that Nnamdi Kanu that earned him a place in solitary confinement, the same statement he's making now. He said, all the ethnic nationalities go your separate ways. The country has failed. It's a failed state. And the edit of the amalgamation said, if the country become a failed state, said the ethnic nationalities could go their separate ways. Oh yes, that is what is happening. And some persons are saying, oh, because his brother Buhari is not there again, now a Southern is there. That's why he's saying this. The man is saying the truth. Simple. What Ango Abdullahi said is the truth. Whether he said it when Buhari is the president, or when Tinubu is the president, or a Northern or a Southern is the president, it's immaterial. What is important is that the man is making the statement, and the statement is true. Yes, there's no ambiguity. He's making a true statement, factual. The country, he said, it has expired, and that is true. He read out the edict, say, go and check. Go and make your findings from the edict. You see, it is written there, boldly. If you can't form a nation state, after 100 years, go your separate ways. So, but what we are saying is this: not whether he said the truth or not. The fact remains that it is the truth, and nothing but the truth that he has said, and he shouldn't be in any way hunted down for it. Yes, shouldn't be hunted down for it. But what I say is this: then go and release him as Nnamdi Kanu. Simple. The same thing he said, and they said they will prosecute him. Treasonable felony, treasonable offense. Oh yes. So that is it. They have to tell themselves the truth. It has expired. Oh yes. And that is it.